I get it, you're sitting at your desk, a stack of contracts, receipts, and glossy brochures is piling up, and the thought of buying a high-end scanner feels like a gamble. You've probably Googled best office scanner a dozen times, watched a few unboxing videos, and now you're wondering if you really need a machine that can gulp through a pile of paper in seconds, or if a cheaper flatbed will just do the job. The risk of splurging on something that sits half-used in a closet is real, especially when you're trying to keep the budget tight but still need that professional-grade speed for a growing workload. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The Fujitsu Fi6670 Professional Color Duplex Document Scanner lands in that sweet spot where a small business or a busy home office might finally feel comfortable moving past the scanner time routine. It's not a hobbyist gadget, it's built for folks who scan hundreds of pages a day, need reliable double-sided capture, and want the kind of reliability that keeps the line moving without constantly stopping to clear jams. If you've ever tried to feed a stack of glossy flyers into a cheap consumer scanner and watched the paper jam like a traffic jam on a rainy morning, you'll recognize the frustration that this model is specifically trying to erase. So who actually benefits from the Fi6670? Picture a law firm that receives client documents in bulk, a medical office digitizing patient records, or a graphic design studio that needs to archive proof sheets with their original colors intact. Those environments demand speed, accuracy, and the ability to handle a variety of paper types without constantly adjusting settings. The scanners advertised 90 pages per minute in color, or 180 images per minute in black and white landscape mode, translates to roughly a Folletta-size stack of 200 pages getting through in just over 2 minutes. For a team that processes incoming paperwork all day, that kind of throughput can shave hours off weekly workloads. On the flip side, if your scanning needs are more occasional, say, you only digitize personal photos or the occasional invoice once a month, the Fi6670 is probably overkill. The machine's footprint is larger than a typical desktop scanner, and the price point reflects its professional intent. Small-scale users might find the same result with a mid-range flatbed that costs a fraction of the price and occupies less counter space. In short, if you're not regularly feeding the feeder a full stack, you'll be paying for speed you'll never use. One of the most talked about features in the specs is the ultrasonic double feed detection. In the real world, that means the scanner can spot when two sheets sneak through together, a common nightmare that creates duplicate scans and throws off indexing. In my conversations with office managers, the biggest headache they described was having to manually delete extra copies after a jam. With ultrasonic detection, the Fi6670 actually stops the feed and alerts you before it creates that mess, which can save a surprising amount of time when you're scanning large batches of invoices or legal briefs. The bundled software suite, highlighted by Fujitsu as Kofax VRS 4.5 Profess, is another practical piece of the puzzle. It's not just a generic PDF creator, it includes tools for automatic document classification, barcode recognition, and even basic OCR that can turn scanned images into searchable text. For a business that needs to pull up a contract by keyword weeks after it was scanned, that functionality can be a game changer. It eliminates the need to purchase a separate third-party OCR package, which can quickly add up in licensing fees. The fact that the processing is handled in hardware, thanks to Fujitsu's color graphics adapter, means the computer you hook the scanner to isn't bogged down with heavy CPU tasks while the machine is running at full speed. However, the hardware processing also comes with a trade-off. The scanner leans heavily on its internal engine for image enhancements, which is great for speed but can limit the flexibility you might want for fine-tuning color balance or contrast on a per-document basis. If you're a graphic artist who needs precise control over each scan's output, you may find yourself reaching for external software to tweak the results anyway. In practice, most users who need speed over perfection won't notice this, but it's something to keep in mind if you have very specific quality requirements. Another practical consideration is how the unit handles paper types. The Fi6670's feeder is rated for a wide range of media, from thin receipt paper up to thick cardstock. In a real-world office setting, you often end up with mixed batches. Think of a stack that includes glossy flyers, standard letterheads, and a few stapled documents. The scanner's advanced intake rollers and the ability to adjust feed settings on the fly let you handle that mix without constantly reconfiguring. I've heard from a small accounting firm that they routinely scan client statements that come on glossy paper, and the Fi 6670 managed the job without the frequent paper tears that plagued their older device. That said, the machine isn't immune to the occasional jam.